Well, ladies and gentlemen, today is Friday, July 8th. This is the American Mindgrind here with Matt and Jessica. And I wanted to do a 4th of July show to talk about our independence. I wanted to celebrate our independence together. Unfortunately, our work schedules didn't match up, so we were unable to meet. And it made me think, are we really independent? Do we really have freedom?
Not really.
No.
You know, not really.
Did you feel independent when you were working?
Right. I was off on the 4th, so it was kind of nice, but went out to Henderson, watched the fireworks, had a nice little barbecue. So.
That's attractive.
Yeah, that's what I heard. With big booties. What about you? Did you have a good 4th?
Yeah, it was great. It was in Atlanta, Georgia.
Dang. Snap.
About
Down
10 minutes
south.
from where they filmed The Walking Dead. Pretty awesome.
Wow.
Surprised they didn't teach you some manners in the South.
Because I would be teaching them.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I'm classy.
You're a Southern belle?
Did they call you ma'am?
No.
No.
Did you drink some sweet tea?
No.
God.
Don't like that sweet tea. I like sour tea.
Nice.
What did you do?
Why do I
went
feel
to
like that
the,
has booze in it?
I went to the 51s game, which is very cool for 4th of July. You can sit there and watch all the fireworks go off all throughout the city while you're watching the game.
That's
Never seen
cool.
a better setting for a baseball game. It was awesome. But yeah, so I was sitting there and I'm like celebrating 4th of July and everything, and I'm just thinking to myself, are we really free? Like, I mean, independent means that you're not subject to another's authority or jurisdiction. And I'm like, how many people do I know? They're not subject to somebody else's authority or jurisdiction, and not very many.
Right, what do they say? Pure freedom is anarchy?
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Like, what if we really had pure freedom? And so I'm just thinking, man, people struggle out there. The poverty level is just like insane. Obama went, what is his stats, like 8 years where he didn't pass 3% GDP?
I was going to say, do they even keep stats that low? Or
Yeah, like I saw 1.5% one year, 1.2% another year. Like,
but the economy's growing, folks.
oh man, and that's what GDP is. What the gross domestic product.
Correct. It's a way that you measure the production of our economy, essentially.
It's like the mathematical formula to see how we're doing.
And it's the simplest way you could put it. Yeah, is how we are growing, how our growth rate of our economy is.
And they say he's the only president to go 8 years in a row without hitting 3%. The only one ever.
And he spent more money than everyone else also, and he's done a lot of good things for this country.
So I'm just thinking, I'm like, geez, I mean, we elected him on that, didn't we, on hope?
And change.
He ran on hope and change.
Oh, wait, change. Change was his slogan.
Well, he did change everything. He fucked it up.
He did change it in a
count?
bad way.
They have all the people yelling, yes, we can. Yes, we can. And
he's supporting Hillary.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, geez, do we want another 8 years of this?
How the hell did the FBI not indict her?
I don't know. That's fucking retarded.
Anyone?
Money, dude. They control the money. They control the media. They control, I guess, even the FBI. I mean, the FBI kind of chickened out of it. They're like, well, she totally did everything wrong, but I wouldn't prosecute her.
Yeah, she can't be held liable for her actions.
Did she lie about this? Yes. Did she lie about this? Yes. Was there like 5 lies? Should we prosecute her? Nah, man, no. No, Bill had a little conversation on the airplane.
Bill's bringing Monica over later, and we're all going to run a train on her, so we're going to recommend not to indict Hillary.
No, so I mean the economy. I feel bad for people. I mean, it just feels so much worse. And I mean, the lower class is like the lower class, and that's who feels it when the economy goes bad. Is they feel it the worst because as a business owner, if somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, we're doing this or we're doing that," or Obamacare's taking effect, and then I say, "Well, do I need to sell my house or my boat or one of my cars or my RV or something?" Well, you could, or you could fire 4 people and tell the other 2 people they have to pick up the slack. Oh, okay.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, bye, Felicia. Then, so that's who the lower class takes the brunt of that, you know. And the politicians make it look like they're doing something to the upper class, but they're not. It trickles down, and I think that needs to be fixed. And so I'm thinking about all this, and
By the way, I love your cue cards.
you like these?
Your little index
I want to be
cards.
like on the talk shows,
That's
like
a first.
when you're done with them, you do this.
There you go.
Like
Can I throw
I'm
one?
reading them by osmosis.
Are you done with this one too?
Yeah. So, kind of, you like that new prop?
We got to call Eric out too for out gallivanting.
That's right. Yeah, let's rewind it. There's usually 4 of us.
Yeah, usually.
Eric's kind of been missing in action lately. Have you heard from him?
MIA.
The last I heard from him, he's becoming like a slumlord.
Yes.
Up in Cedar.
Airbnb.
Yeah. So he's like
putting all his time and energy into that.
He's getting ready to take all Cedar City over.
He's raking on that, by the way.
Yeah, he's making.
He got a good deal on that Airbnb.
Great plan.
He just put it up there and the phone started ringing off the hook.
Ding, ding.
So now he went to Alaska and he's chasing salmon. Is that? Did you see his Facebook?
Yeah, I saw that he went to Alaska. Yeah, but
You sure he's not chasing bears up there?
now he's fishing.
This is a bear, a big hairy gay man.
He scared the bears. He's taking all their salmon.
He could be looking for a bear.
Oh yeah, Eric, be careful, dude. The bears will get mad if you're in their salmon hole. They'll attack you, especially if you have a cub with them.
I think that's common sense.
He's a pretty intelligent guy, so I think he's gonna be okay with the bears and stuff.
Dog bears.
Just hope, yeah, the bears.
So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about, we're not really free in this country, and how are we celebrating our independence when every year it gets worse? And then I see these shootings on TV, and I'm just like, what is going on? Like cops are shooting.
I'm not the most intelligent person out there, folks, but I
You
would
could say that
definitely
again.
not shoot a cop in Texas. They
No.
still execute like retards there.
Yeah, that's why they
Yep,
want to be their own
death
country, so
penalty.
they
Yeah.
can have their own judicial system and just wax everybody.
That guy is super lucky he got killed by the cops because it was not going to be pretty, I don't think, if he went to trial in Texas.
Yeah, why Texas? Why you're not supposed to mess with Texas, right?
Right. And then
Yeah, I mean, so I'm watching TV and I'm just like, okay, another cop killing, and
but they were in Dallas,
It's
right?
because he was upset at the other.
Was he in a book
shooting.
depository?
They were at a riot, I thought.
Yeah.
Riots. 11 cops shot, and I think 4 pronounced dead.
no, not a riot.
That was a dead Kennedy
I thought
joke,
that
by the
was
way.
it.
They're at they were at a peaceful protest.
Oh, there you go.
Black Lives Matter peaceful protest, and
I'm down for the cause.
everything was going peaceful. I mean, that part of Dallas, I was just there. I went there to buy a car, and I was hanging out at this place called Nick and Sam's where Shauna works, and that neighborhood right there on that corner is just so nice and like beautiful and peaceful, and it turned into a war zone, man.
Well, I think they learned after April 26, 1992, not to burn down their own neighborhoods. They go to nicer ones.
Maybe that's what it is.
That's what it is, I think.
You were just so excited to go and see this concert, I'm pretty sure.
Which one?
The Sublime one.
Oh, I do like Sublime.
Fake Sublime.
No, the fake Sublime. Sorry.
Cover band.
Tell me, are you a bad fish too? Just gonna keep quoting them. So anyway, the sniper pops a cap in Sancho. Is that what happened?
Sublime boy.
All right, I'm done.
He's excited.
Oh
So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, geez, is this racism? Is it really racism? I mean,
I don't think it is, because I was looking at statistics today online, and more white people and Hispanics get killed by police every single year than black people.
It's never televised, though, and made riots over or protests over.
because they can't make money on it.
The one video was pretty bad. I don't know if you saw the Facebook Live one.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the first thing about that is that she started filming after he got shot. So you don't know what actually happened before. But I think the cop is now being charged with homicide, which is kind of scary because she was calm, very calm, and her boyfriend's sitting there slumped over, like moaning because he just got shot in the arm. That is scary, but who knows what really happened? We will never know. Maybe the cop was in the wrong. Probably was. And I know she was saying on the video that he had a gun in the glove compartment. He has a license to carry, and he was pulling his ID or something out of his pocket, and then that's when he got shot.
Philando Castile, that's his name?
I don't know. I stopped keeping track.
Philando was the guy in Minnesota that you're talking about, and then the Baton Rouge one that happened prior was Alton.
Is that the video where they had the two kids, the two cops were on top of the kid, and that
he's
one was
a big
bad
boy.
too.
So that to me they're like totally two separate incidents because Alton Sterling He's a registered sex offender. He's got all kinds of weapons offenses.
We should shoot him for that alone. Sex offender status, right?
That's a tough one. That's another show, but do we need to be tougher on that? I think so. Maybe a tattoo on the forehead that says "I like little boys" or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Keep yours away
Glorious
from.
bastards, then.
But it's such a vague thing. Did you know if you urinate out there after the show in the parking lot?
Yeah.
You have to.
Then you're a sex offender.
I like to pee in public. Don't
If you
get
pee
me
in
wrong.
public and you get caught, you're a sex offender.
Yeah,
if you
I know.
look up the people online, because you can do that, because they have to register in your neighborhood or whatever, it shows their offense. So it could be like sexual offense with a minor, or
Right.
I've never seen one that actually said peed in public. It'll say indecent exposure.
He could be like,
My cousin's ex-wife, who you know and went to high school with, actually had to register as a sex offender because she peed in public.
really?
Yes.
If you're like,
know who you
if
are.
you're 20 and you're dating a girl that's like 17, or say you're 18, you're dating a girl that's 17, and you get caught, and that's you're a sex offender.
But it'll also say their age.
Well, I think in Nevada
like
it's
your
16.
age that you did it at.
So it says why you have to register as a sex offender?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so we don't know why this guy had to. Anyway, so he had domestic violence charges, all kinds of battery charges. Not a good dude. So he's selling CDs outside of a convenience store, which he's done for 10 years.
Were they legally burned
Yes.
CDs?
They were illegal.
They were?
Yeah, they were.
I don't think there's a pretty good profit margin in selling legal CDs.
So it's
Well,
not
I think they're movies, like bootleg movies.
Yeah, like bootleg stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not like, so it's not like he's rapping and trying to sell his
No,
work.
I don't think you're.
jeez.
I bet you he was an aspiring rapper though. Like on his job,
Like
on his resume, I bet you that's on there
45%.
somewhere.
Well, his mom said that he had done this for like 10 years. This is how he feeds his family. Which again takes me back to the poverty link, is like people
They don't have crack in Baton Rouge?
that you have to, well, yeah, they sell crack, or they do these illegal things because they're so poor.
They kinda
because
have to.
it's their way
That's
to
all they
survive.
know.
Like if you try for 2 or 3 years to get a job and you can't get a job, and you have kids or you have a family to feed, you got to find a way.
Right.
So so he's selling illegal CDs. Big deal, right? But then I guess one of the customers or something says something to him. They get into an altercation, and he threatens him with a gun. Now, you threaten somebody's life with a gun. Now the cops got to be called.
Right.
It's not like the cops were out saying, hey, let's find a black guy in the park today, go up to him, ask him if both his parents are black, and shoot him.
Right.
When that happens, I'm going to go march too. But, and that's just the way sometimes the media makes it seem, oh, these racist cops are out to try and kill black people.
Yeah.
And it's just, then I'm like, gosh, man, these cops are killing black people, and I'm thinking, this is out of control. This is like Wild Wild West times. And then I start thinking,
West.
I'm like, but wait a minute. Somebody says to me, hey, Jeff, did you know that more whites, like you said, are killed by cops than blacks? I'm like, no way. So I look it up.
Fact.
Why isn't it televised, like she said? Because they can't make money on IC.
Maybe we need to organize.
Yeah, against
Organized?
the media.
Yeah.
The media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Organized.
I don't.
Organized what?
Non-crime. We need to-
Non-crime, yeah.
Noah's Ark.
Law-abiding citizens.
Noah's Ark. Everyone carry a gun.
2 by 2.
I think we should educate everyone.
Yeah, that's
Because
the
I
deal.
think people are.
I mean, you can educate as much people as you want, but at the end of the day, dude's still going to go down to the convenience store and sell crack and CDs and
Well,
threaten people with a gun, no matter how smart he is. He's just going to find a different way to break the law.
I disagree. I think I agree with her. If he was born in my family, he wouldn't. You know?
Maybe.
If you go to Summerlin, you don't see that crap. Black, white, Mexican, Asian, there's no problems.
Who didn't turn their phone off?
Oh, she's there, got her little Periscope Live going over there. Oh, hey, everyone on Periscope, by the way, follow us on the American Mindgrind on YouTube for the full edit of this show. So, I mean, it's a big part of it. Educate them, even practice to be in that situation. And when, in this guy's situation, when the cop says get down on the ground, you've got to. And I mean, they make fun of the put your hands up, don't shoot, hands up, don't shoot.
Right.
But man, put your pride in your back pocket and put your hands up.
since the last time we recorded a show, when I was here, I actually got a speeding ticket, right? Well, it was illegal U-turn on a red light, allegedly.
Allegedly.
But he couldn't get behind me, so I was like right in front of my work, and I'm like, having maybe 100 yards. I'm like, well, I can beat him to the next U-turn and pull into work, right? This is what I'm thinking in my head. I have nothing illegal in my truck because I was going to work. So I make it to the parking lot, jump out of the truck, walking in because I had 2 Monster energy drinks and a bag of ice because we had no ice at work. And they totally accosted me, like, empty your pockets right in front of my work. Like, I have a picture of it. Spread eagle on the hood of the car. Got the gropey from the cop. But I was like, yeah, I could see why he would think I was a criminal because I totally was trying to ditch his ass. Trashy, just trashy.
Well, that's like when I got pulled over in the RV and they brought out the bomb-sniffing dogs and made me stay back with the other officer and keep my hands on the hood. I'm like, are you kidding me, man? Like,
because everyone's a threat. It's not about color.
Well, and I don't think it's even that. I think that, I mean, you were in sales. I think we use profiling because it does actually work. And so everyone's so afraid to say that. Like, unfortunately, you can profile somebody. You're going to tell me you can't get someone's credit score within probably 35 points by looking at the way that they carry themselves?
And sometimes you're wrong.
Sometimes you're wrong, but 85% of the time you're right.
90% of the time it plays out. I saw a documentary where they had this black guy come up behind people at the ATM machine, and he'd walk up on them, and they'd get really, really nervous. Some of them didn't take out money, and then they had the white guy walk up and just kind of stand behind them, and they didn't even cover their PIN, you know?
Right.
And, I mean, is that racism? Is it profiling? Because when the black guys came up and they were doing the PIN, they admitted to the camera that they were more scared of the black guy than the white guy.
Well, I think that's part of like what the mainstream media really thrives off of is trying to, have us in fear of a black man, because they've been oppressed and they've had a struggling fight. I mean, more people died in the Civil War freeing black people than slaves did, right? I mean,
yeah.
How oppressed really are you? I mean, go to a third world country and talk to me about freedom. You get free cheese and government cheese and all this stuff free rent, and I mean, really, how bad is your life at the end of the day?
How sad are you going to be on free cheese?
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
Well, I think that's just my point. I think that a lot of them have to be on assistance from the government, and I think, and not them, not black people. I'm talking about poor people. Because what do they all have in common? These guys that are getting shot by cops, they're all from poverty.
I was just going to say, what do you mean them?
Them, the poor people.
What do you mean them?
The people in poverty, the people that see every action is a reaction to somebody's action. The cops have to be called because these people are breaking the law.
Right.
And with the Baton Rouge one, for sure. He's waving a gun around saying he's going to kill people. Cops have to come.
Right.
When cops come and he waves a gun around at them, you don't get on the ground when you say get on the ground. They taser the dude twice. Doesn't go down. They finally tackle him, and he's still fighting. And then somebody yells gun, and they allegedly reaches for his gun, who really knows or not, and they shoot the guy.
Well, in a struggle like that, too, I mean, you have a split second to make a decision. There was a cool video on Facebook today that says, do you shoot or not? And
I posted it.
Yeah. I mean, you have half of a second to make a decision to save your own life to go home to your family.
I mean, they showed cops come up to the guys, and guys just go like this, bam.
Right.
And they're dead. Cop's dead.
Right.
I mean, I would be scared to be a cop. You want to be a cop?
I actually was going to say this. I had a Metro police officer today in my work who is retiring because he's like, this is crazy. He's like, I'm done. He's like, find someone else to do the damn job.
No, my brother's a cop in San Diego, and that's scary enough. He's white, and I mean, what do you... Of course, he's not going to back down or do anything like that, but...
It's just, what do you do? I mean, if you're a cop, and listen, these cops, they know the consequences of pulling the trigger. They know that they're going to get death threats, that there's stuff that's going to be about their family, that they're going to have to be out of the police force for X amount of time, that there might be a big trial. Do you think a cop wants that? You think it's worth it for him to kill a black man and go through that? They don't want to go through that, man.
Well, and there's bad cops. I mean, there's bad musicians. There's bad, everyone. There's bad salespeople.
Good and bad, everyone.
There is.
Race doesn't matter.
And we got to put a stop to it, man. These cops harassing people because they're black has gone on for a long time, for years. And you put yourself in a black person's shoes, and you see it over and over and over again, and you hear about it over and over.
Here's a question for you though: do you think that a black man gets treated any differently than, say, a white man in like a trailer park by a police officer? He's assuming that you're the same person. You know what I mean? The color of your skin means nothing to him.
Which is my point. You go to Summerlin, you don't see that.
Right.
The black guys in Summerlin aren't treated, my friends anyway, aren't treated any different than I'm treated.
Right.
But in poor neighborhoods where the crime is high and these cops are a little skittish, and I think that might be where some of the racism comes from those cops too. I mean, they've seen it over and over again. I mean, who commits most crimes in this country? If you did it by race,
probably Wall Street or Washington.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on a limb.
The White House.
I'm gonna
not
guess,
afraid to pull them over though, are they?
I'm gonna guess either one of those two are probably number 1 and 2.
Yeah. I mean, race-wise.
Yeah, but who knows? Who really knows? Who commits more?
Well, the stats say that the black people do, but so does that?
But also,
justify being afraid of them?
You got to figure too, though. You have a rich white corporate America guy who gets caught with cocaine, and it's a gross misdemeanor, and you have a poor black guy who gets caught with crack, or anyone that gets caught with crack, and it's a felony. You know what I mean? It's cheaper to buy crack than it is cocaine.
Okay, who's more likely to attack a cop? If you ask the cops. You know that cop killings is up 44% this year from last year?
That's insane, is it not?
That's retarded.
There's no other way.
Where's the riot on that?
With the division that
they did have they were supposed to have like a protest for that, and then no one came.
Yeah,
New York. I
that's
think.
right.
Right?
Like 8 people showed up or something.
God.
The way that the media has divided this country, though, it's going to take a great tragedy to reunite us, like 9/11 or something like that, right?
Unfortunately.
Hillary Clinton just sold 20% of our uranium to the Middle
Russia.
East. Yeah, basically Russia, who's going to give it straight to Iran, and no one cares, right? Because we're all talking about killing cops and rioting in the streets over stuff that doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think the cops that were shot at and got killed in Dallas, those people are probably innocent, completely. Probably 90% of them were good cops, had nothing to do with anything. They're trying to
protect the lives of the Black Lives Matter campaign.
Yeah. So I think that's ridiculous. And then the guy that shot him just kind of said, oh, well, I was upset about this and that, and I'm targeting white cops. And it's funny because the chief of police came on, and it's a black man who talked, at the conference. And it's like, what if he was out there? He's not going to shoot him because he's black. And
there's a huge racial division in this country at this time, but that's the way that the left has and the media has made it. There's no other choice, really.
And by Matt saying that, by saying the media did that, I had some girl tell me the other day, she's like, the media's never started a riot or never done this. I go, yes, they have. They do it every day. They get you so wound up on the small things that happen. What is it, 1%? I mean, this happens every now and then. Like, millions of people are killed every day.
Right.
And the number one killer in this country is heart disease. It's taken more lives, black, white, anything, and blacks more than anybody, than anything, guns, nothing even comes close except cancer. Right. And nobody says a word. Let's riot. Let's get together. Let's have protests against McDonald's and Tyson Chicken and all the GMOs they're putting in the food. They're killing your kids. They're going after you, your community. They're making a killing on the profit, and nobody says a thing.
Well, not to mention, too, once they do have a protest, right, then the media just harps on it and harps on it and harps on it, and it's shown at every single city, and then someone's like, well, no one's rioting here, so let's all get down to the corner of 3rd and 4th, right?
Well, and people are just glued to the TV. If there's a riot or a killing or something, they love it. They try to egg it on. They try to make the people feel that they don't have a chance.
I don't mean to sound bad about this, but it is on my bucket list to actively participate in a riot.
Yeah, let's go to a Trump rally. Just so you know, somebody hit me up. 40,000 black people die a year. 40,000 black people die a year of heart disease. Half of black people in the United States have some kind of heart condition that are alive. So that's telling me that number is even going to go up higher.
Right.
And it's just getting worse. And because somebody told me, they were like, hey, Jeff, because I put it on Facebook, and of course it turns into a whole Facebook war. And that's why I'm glad we had the show that we can hash it all out here. And they say, well, if Black Lives Matter so much, then, the cop-out, I call it a cop-out. Why do blacks kill blacks? Well, over 9,000 a year. Black people kill black people over 9,000 a year. And I think that some white people or non-black people that don't want to discuss this use that as a way out. Oh, well, the blacks kill the blacks. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean you get to kill the blacks. Like,
Right.
It's no excuse, but certainly does it demand as much attention? Maybe, probably more. If you look at the numbers, more people are killed that way than this way. Let's put our efforts into that. Let's stop that. And again, why does that happen? It's poverty, man.
You know what? And everyone's going to take that as racism. Oh, well, you can't talk about the blacks killing blacks. That's
Right.
racism.
But you have to, because the numbers tell me 9,000. I could save 9,000 lives. I could save 9,000 lives. How many people are killed by cops? How many blacks are killed by cops every year? Not 9,000.
Definitely not.
Not, what was the number? Not 40,000.
Right.
From the food.
So you're at 50,000. Let's round it up.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the
Let's
number.
focus on that. Let's not ignore this problem, because it's a problem. And man, if you put yourself in a black person's shoes, I mean, it almost brings tears to my eyes to feel. I'm looking at their posts on Facebook, man, and they feel like they don't have a chance.
I don't understand how they still feel victimized after 200 plus years, right? Like,
Well, that's what's sad. That they
you know,
shouldn't. They
why-
shouldn't feel that way.
Why
We shouldn't.
do you buy into that media rhetoric? Really?
I mean, we have a black person as a president.
Yeah, we've come a long way for sure, for sure. I just
Yeah,
think
we do.
something has to be done, though, because here's the deal, man. If they feel that they really don't have a chance, that they're ousted, and we haven't gone through it, I can't. I try to put myself down. I'm like, okay, imagine getting pulled over and they're saying racial slurs at you and get on the ground and, I mean, just harassing you, and you're absolutely 100% innocent. Which, in these cases, these guys are not 100% innocent.
Right.
Now, the one in Minnesota, this poor guy, Philandro, he's just hanging out in his car. He's like a good guy. He like works at the school, and like he's working in the cafeteria, and he knows all the kids at school lunch, and he knows their allergies and what to give them and what not to give them. Sounds like the dude was making a good difference in the world, but again, he didn't have any. He hadn't been arrested for any felonies or anything, but he'd been in trouble for no insurance on the car, driving on a suspended license. They pulled him over this time for a broken tail light. He got pulled over once for no muffler.
I like your style.
So then he's got a gun. He can afford a gun, but he can't afford a
Tail light.
blinker.
Yeah.
Like,
Just throw some tape on that bitch. Jesus.
so it's like, okay, so the action is now, it's totally not a big deal, but the cop has to pull him over. It's his job. You can't drive around in half of a car, bro. You gotta have a car, man, or else you can't drive. It's a privilege. Driving is a privilege, and you have to pay for it. But again, he's working at the cafeteria, man. How much money does this guy make? Not very much.
Probably.
Sounds like he's living with his mom. Or his mom ironically told the kids, "Hey, don't take a gun today. There's stuff going on in the news. It's real dangerous for you to carry a gun right now." They ignored the mom's motherly instinct, and they took the guns. And because he had the gun, and he had a right to carry it, but I think if your license is suspended or something, there was something that made it so he wasn't supposed to be carrying the gun or whatever. But who cares? When he reached for his wallet or whatever, allegedly, cop thought he was reaching for his gun. And that's all hearsay. Like you said, we'll never know. It's her word against the cop's word. And she can say he was reaching for his license, and the cop can say he was reaching for his gun. Which is one of the solutions
I
here.
just want to do this again.
Is that, yeah, I think this one's over here. So
What?
you want to throw one? So
I come to it.
it's like the cops have to wear a camera. They have to. Every cop has to wear a
Body
camera.
cameras, right.
A body camera.
What's the initial cost of that? I mean,
they have one in every police car, right? So
Yeah. You know,
it's
that's-
eventually going to get to a point where no one's going to do the job because they're so criticized, and we're going to have like a robot doing it. Like Siri's going to be, on every street corner.
and then it's gonna be like,
Yeah, we can't have that. We
Not
can't.
like
We
we
can't
did.
let it get to that. I mean, I don't care what the cost is. We have to do it. Like, what's the cost of cleaning
Someone's
up
life.
after all these protests
Yeah.
and shutting down roads and all the cops we have to send to make sure that nothing happens, that it stays peaceful, that the people are protected? It's cost way more than what it would cost to put a camera on every cop.
Well, cameras. get Apple involved, right? I mean, every phone has a camera.
Right.
And every cop have a camera.
Yeah, but then there's going to be technical difficulties.
Sure,
you know?
but-
Oh, it cut out at this point. All right, then you're automatically, like...
Off the hook.
Oh yeah,
No
like they
evidence.
go like this.
Yeah, if something happens where their camera is
If
messed
it,
up,
I
then
mean,
it's,
that's
there's no
obviously.
point.
If you mess, that's a fine. That's messing with evidence.
Tampering with evidence.
Tampering with evidence. There just has to be.
I mean, where do you draw
solutions.
the line between Big Brother and freedom, though, is where you're really going with that. I mean, do you want to be watched 24/7? I mean, I know you're like, yeah, I don't got anything to hide, but I sure as hell don't. Like, I don't want you watching what I'm doing. I don't have anything to hide either, but I enjoy my privacy.
But I mean, I think it's to protect you more than anything. Is if a cop pulls you over and is mishandling your situation, don't you want it on video?
Yes.
Because they're not going to believe you when you show up to court and be like, "Hey, man, this cop roughed me up," and the cop's like, "No, I didn't."
Right, that's true. I mean, what are you going to do, right? I mean, you're going to put a camera on every cop?
I think we have to. And I think, what do we put, 2 cops in every car? That's going to be a lot of money too, but
They're going to have to now,
They did that
especially if
already
there's a war.
here in Vegas.
in the rough neighborhoods, I'd put a black cop and a white cop in every car and a camera. And I mean, this stuff has to stop, man, because here's what happens. If the poor people or the black people or whoever feels that they're being attacked, they feel like they're being attacked, they feel like they don't have any chance, they're poor, the poverty level is so bad.
Why don't we just pull the cops out of the rough neighborhoods and let them kill each other?
Yeah,
I
then
mean,
they'll
why
take
waste the
over,
resources?
bro. They'll get too strong and they'll take over. It'll be civil war in our own country.
You know?
But yeah, think of that. What if you call the cops and they don't come?
Right, what happens if they don't show up?
Because that's what's going to happen.
I think some neighborhoods are kind of already like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, we have a domestic violence
Elmwood
call
Street.
in this horrible neighborhood where there's always a shooting and always somebody dead. And we're cops are going to be like, boy, he's a black guy. We'll be right there when I finish this coffee and donut. I mean,
Oh, come on, we can't stereotype cops like that. They only
Yeah.
eat donuts.
riot. No, so I think I feel bad. I feel really bad that the people in this country feel that way. You shouldn't have to live in America and feel that you don't have a chance. I really, really, really blame it on poverty over racism, though. I think the people are in a bad situation, and
I blame it on ignorance more than anything. I mean, come on.
For sure,
You have a
ignorance,
culture
definitely.
of people that have been raised for the past 70, 80 years.
The same
Thinking
way.
everyone is against you.
In poverty, probably.
Right.
So our co-host Eric, who's not here, his son Ethan is black. Eric spends a lot of time and effort into raising his child.
And he's a good father.
And he's a great father. And something just tells me that Ethan is not going to have to deal with this. Ethan is going to be...
I don't think that's true, man, because there's no matter what you do, there's always going to be an ignorant person that is going to judge you by the color of your skin or what you look like.
But how is
what.
Ethan going to react to that? Is what I'm saying. I think Eric's prepared him for that situation.
Oh, I would
if
agree.
he's told to put his hands up, he's going to put his hands up. I don't think Ethan is going to have the cops call on him.
Right.
I don't think he's going to steal.
Right.
I don't think he's going to rape. I don't think he's going to murder. I don't think he's going to threaten somebody with a gun. And but that's why I think these are such different situations. This poor kid, Philandro, he was driving his car, man, and now he's dead. And so in that situation, for sure, the cop had too itchy of a trigger finger, and the cop has to be better trained.
Well, I mean, they're getting attacked now. I mean, there's obviously a war on cops in this country to a certain extent.
Right.
So you're putting a skittish trigger man behind a gun and asking him to still go do his job. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? It does not work that way.
Yeah.
He wasn't trained to be in that situation. I mean, I'm not a trained cop, but pretty sure what I would do is be like, keep your hands where I can see him, and I wouldn't tell him to reach for his license. And guys,
Step
if he
out of
was
the car.
reaching without being told, when he was told to keep his hands up, if that happened, the cop has to shoot him, man. And it sucks
Tase
that
him,
it's that
maybe?
way.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
where's the taser? Where's the so he's a? I would tell a guy to get out of the car.
right.
Do you have a gun? Yes. Do you have a gun on you? Yes. Okay, keep your hands where I see him. Please get out of the car.
The first thing
Let
that
me
he should have
search
done
for
was
your own
announce that he had a firearm when he was pulled over, though.
He did.
I think he did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He
And
said, "I have a
said
right."
that he had a permit too.
Permit to carry, and I have it on
But
me.
then again, this is all hearsay from
Right.
the girlfriend.
So allegedly, the cop says, "Don't reach for it. Don't reach for your gun," and he reaches for his whatever. And then the girlfriend says, "Sir, he was just going to give you his driver's license." Well, she doesn't know what he was doing.
Right.
But But by judging the guy's character, I think he probably was just reaching for his license or whatever. I don't
Probably.
think this guy was
Probably.
going to shoot that cop. But he doesn't. The cop doesn't know that.
The cop doesn't know that.
So get the guy out of the car. Hands on the hood. I will take from you. My partner's going to keep an eye on the girl to make sure she doesn't shoot me. They had a little girl in the back of the car, for
Yeah.
God's sakes. She witnessed this whole thing go down. Like, this cop has to be
Do you know how old she was?
dealt with. I don't even know.
Watch your dad get shot. That's tragic.
7. No, it was.
No, I don't know how old she
It was the
but I know she
lady's
was a
kid.
child. Yeah.
His girlfriend's kid, and it's just like, I can't imagine my kid seeing that.
At the same time, though, you're supposed to do what they tell you. I mean, really. I mean, but that's not, a lot of these impoverished neighborhoods, that's not in their culture, right? I mean, look at
They're
the,
proud.
yeah, fuck the police,
Yeah.
straight from the underground,
I
right?
think-
Totally
You
proud.
know? It's almost like a badge of honor for a lot of these kids that grow up
To
poor in
stand up.
gangs and stuff to stand up to the authority.
And that's part of the problem. That's what she's talking about. Educate your kids, prepare them for that situation. Yeah, it doesn't excuse it at all. And we got to get rid of all the cops who aren't handling the situations properly. We have to be harder on them. And at the same time, we need help from the other side. Prepare your child for the situation, man.
I completely agree, though. How much like community outreach does law enforcement actually do in each community? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got to get into these inner cities and not just black neighborhoods, into the, the poor white kids that are in Detroit that have all the problems. I mean,